This is the logo I designed for my project. I had two key elements that I really wanted to focus on. I really wanted to capture the human element and the tech element. These are the two images that I started with. It's a GIF of an eye and then an image of a circuit board. I really wanted to make it androgynous. I didn't want it to be gender specific. So I removed some of the eyelash. Then I used the eye as a separate layer. In the circuit board, I put the eye on top of the circuit board, and then I erased some of the brown so that the circuit board started to show through. This is my intro page. You can see it starts with the doc type HTML, language English, and then has my meta characters. This page actually uses all the elements for everything for my project. You have the banner on the top, and then you have the container that has all my text, and that has the footer information on the bottom. This is the index page of my website. Says the name of the project, Wearable Tech Implants, has a short abstract, my animation, then it has a table of contents over here. The table of contents I actually reorganized. I know originally it was supposed to be an organized list, but I felt it had better flow for the rest of the site if it went in the order that the pages appeared on the site. And then I have my date counter over here. The things that I did a little different here in terms of setup was I put the text over to the side. I really liked the image of my background, and I felt that it kind of added to the overall feel for the page. The purpose page, if you look at the top of the page, you'll see my banner. As you hover over the banner, you'll see a little hand appear. That's because there's a hyperlink built into it to bring you back to the index page. The meat and potatoes of the project are the prompts, the introduction, followed by prompt A, indicate the name of the innovation, provide a clear description of its intended purpose, such as the problem that the innovation solved, the opportunity the innovation created, or the discovery that the innovation made possible. So the innovation that we're talking about, the wearable tech, has been around since 2007. Before we get into what happened in 2007, I want to kind of give a little bit of background in computers themselves, because it actually kind of comes into play with the evolution of where we're going with this technology. In 1822, the calculator was conceptualized. It took 120 years for it to go from concept to fruition, to an actual working model. It took another 30 years for the computer to evolve from tubes to microprocessors. And then things start to speed up a little bit. So in 1982, the first laptop is introduced, 32 gigabytes of memory. And then we kind of leap ahead to 2007. The iPhone is introduced. The significance of this is that it's actually a portable device that has a bunch of little devices all inclusive. So your iPhone is not only a phone, it's also your MP3 player, it's a GPS, and it has the same technology that the laptop that was introduced in 1983 has. So you actually can surf the web. It does have a lot of the same functions with faster processing speed. All right, so as I said earlier, 2007 is kind of the beginning of the wearable tech. So where do you go from 2007 to now? Well, the computer chips keep getting smaller and smaller. They could do more and more. So the next step in evolution is for these wearables to actually become something that we wear on the inside, internalize. So you can see I have a couple of graphs that pictures that kind of support this. My favorite one is actually the person in the bathtub using their iPhone. The interface for the iPhone is actually graphed onto the skin, and everything else is internalized. And then you have this other image that has embeddables, the next evolution of wearables. The next three prompts come under effects and impacts. The first prompt, explain benefit and harmful effect of the innovation. For benefits, if you have technology that's implanted, it can't get lost or stolen. You don't have to worry about misplaced chargers. It'll be waterproof, drop proof. On the other side, you're probably going to be a pretty hefty price tag associated with it when it first comes out. And then there's the questions, will the body reject it? What happens if it breaks down in the body? Will it be susceptible to viruses? Will humans be able to catch those viruses? Um, Privacy concerns with hacks, and then the privacy concern of the technology always tracking your every move. So the GPS being there and kind of monitoring everything you do. So quickly, we have a video right here. Local filmmaker Corey discusses
sort of the logical evolution. Just like the smartphone. First question was, how do we get everything into one device to make everyone's life easier? And now it's like, how do we make it so all of that stuff that we were able to get them at one point is now something that they can never lose? Things that shouldn't be implanted are, the things that pertain to privacy and people being able to have a say in what they want to share.
D indicated a field other than computer science where the innovation has impacted or has the impact potential to impact. Describe the impact. So it's kind of weird that we're talking about wearable techs and how it's going to actually lead into medical implants, where it's actually medical implants that have kind of uh, led way to the possibilities of wearable tech going internal. If you look at pacemaker, the first internal pacemaker was introduced in 1958, and then cochlear ear implants have kind of become the norm since 2014. So this wearable tech is already going internal, um, but we kind of look at that as the beginning, and you kind of add on to that the technology that we're talking about, like the fitness bands, smartwatches, phones, headphones, and then we kind of go full circle. We go back to the medical. So over here on the right, we have a grain of rice and the chip that would be implanted. This chip would be used specifically for medical reasons. It would be able to collect information and then transfer it to a doctor. Our next two prompts come under technical aspects analysis. The first is describe how the user interacts with the innovation. So in all cases, the innovation is actually twofold. So you have the internal component, and then you have an external interface that would be the device that the user uses to communicate back and forth with the implantable device. There is a neat video over here. It's Paralympian Jen French, who was injured in a snowboarding accident. She became a quadriplegic, and she actually has implants deeply embedded in her muscle, and then she has a control panel that actually enables her to stand and walk. If we go down to the bottom, the last prompt, describe and detail how the innovation technology incorporates one of the big ideas. The big idea that I chose was programming. Programming these devices could be the key to bridging communication gap. Parameters can be set to problem solve, removing any potential human error. With this technology, a doctor can ask a question and get an unbiased answer. A lot of times, when people are asked questions by doctors, we find out later that sometimes the patient's embarrassed or just doesn't remember, and they give the wrong information, and it's really difficult for the doctor to get a clear picture of what's going on with the patient. If you have this chip that's interacting internally, to be able to get that information and avoid a lot of the runaround from misinformation or forgotten information. The image on the side here was just a cool image that I found to kind of beef up the overall aesthetics of the final two prompts fall under relationship to data. Describe how the innovation consumes data as input, produces data as output, or transforms data. Consumes data, implants that are single functioning would actually get the data, transfer the data so that we could use it. In terms of producing data, the implants that are there that work with our body and our specific biochemistry would actually produce data as an output, and then that data would be used by either the user or a doctor. to make specific adjustments. Describe at least one data storage concern, data privacy concern, or data security concern related to the innovation. Data storage, unfortunately, we're going to be limited to whatever is in the device as it's implanted. We're talking about something that's going to be internalized. You're not going to be able to add memory to it. You will be able to add information through prompts on some of the devices, but pretty much the technology will be the technology. At some point, when we're looking at the implants that were actually able to attack cancer cells, I think we'll kind of be at a different level at that point, but it wouldn't be something that would happen right away. So data privacy, one of the big things that kind of popped up a couple times throughout my research is the fact that a lot of these technologies either have built-in GPS or they have a very specific signature that would be able to triangulate. So they'd pretty much be able to track just about your every move. Security, because this is a wireless signal, and I mean, to be honest, technology is prone to hacks anyway. You're just talking about the ease with which information would be obtained. And the type of information that we're talking is very sensitive. Okay, and here we are on the final page of the website, my reference page. The one reference that really helped me out a lot was the 10 implantable wearables soon to be in your body. And we'll take a look at that site real quick. Okay, so here we are, top 10 implantable wearables soon to be in your body. This website was not only helpful in terms of the literature, but some of the images really made an impression and kind of got my thought process going in a different direction. So you see this image is actually on my website. It's the face of the cell phone that's actually grafted onto the outside of the skin. And we talked a little bit about the healing chips. And then cyber pills that talk to your doctor. And it kind of talks about a couple things that I didn't really mention: the implantable birth control, smart tattoos, brain computer interface, metal bio batteries. Which, if you read my presentation, the actual the website that I did set up, it does mention the bio batteries. So it would actually use the glucose in your body as a fuel source for these batteries. And when the batteries eventually do die, they actually just. If you'd like any additional information, please visit the website above. Thank you.